Hey guys, so I'm preparing an offering to Bathin. As I've probably told you before, anytime I dream about an entity or their name comes up in my dream or they just bear an obvious relevance to my dream, I'll put out what I refer to as a dream offering, which is comprised of alcohol of some form in a cup with a sigil or symbol created on it in cases where sigils don't exist, a tea light incorporating the relevant colors whenever applicable. I tend to write the entity's name on the tea light and the color associated with them. I burn incense. I face the directional correspondent if one can be identified. If I cannot identify a directional correspondent, I use a app on my phone called Skyview to face the actual planet which they are associated with. I chant a mantra or an N. Because there's not always N. Sometimes there'll be mantras or hymns or things that I derive from different sources. In this case for Bathin, I am putting out, I think this is sangria wine. Yeah, in this cup I've used yellow, dark green, light green to create his sigil here, all of which are associated with Venus. And green is, of course, the color which is attributed to him traditionally. You face west. I usually write the ends on the cups. I have a lot of them memorized at this point, but it's still good to reinforce this. This is because putting out these offerings is to reinforce the occurrence of the dreams by rewarding the entities so that they know if they ever want something from me, it's a really easy way to get it and shows initiative on my part and prevents me from stagnating. But it's also to reinforce the correspondence in my mind so that I remember them better through the repetition. I have tons of sigils and ends memorized at this point and tons of correspondence memorized. I don't even have to look, but I like to fact check and make sure that I'm doing it correctly. And then if I learn something new, I tend to incorporate new things into it. Like this is the first time that I've ever burned mistletoe to him. This is dried mistletoe, which is apparently his plant correspondent. And it's in a copper burning bowl, and copper being, the metal for good dukes. This is sandalwood incense. I like to write their names on the incense cones. It's kind of a neat trick because when it burns down, if you don't topple it over, you can still see the writing on the incense cone. So sometimes I like to draw those sigils on them too. It's just kind of fun.